Shit, my Wi-Fi does suck. Wow, it literally says my internet connection is unstable.
It's better now. It's not, it seems like your eyeballs are moving.
Great, glad that works. Fuck me. Okay. Yeah, way better now that I actually have a piece of furniture to sit on.
That's a plus. So this is your new pad.
My new pad. So I'm saving the goods for maybe next show because I'm drinking something other than water, but I got my Invisalign and it's hilarious because I literally talk with a lisp. So, thought I'd save that entertainment for.
Is this your first time getting Invisalign?
Yeah, I had braces when I was like 13 and I never wore my retainer after. And my teeth all got jacked up because of it. So then when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, got those taken out, and then like 10 days later went in for my Invisalign. And let me tell you, this shit hurts.
Oh, I went through Invisalign.
You did.
Twice. I'm a hygienist, remember? So I did it all, but I was really shitty at wearing it. I did it when I was like kind of in my party phase of life, and I was kind of like a weekend warrior. Actually, weekday warrior. I'd wear them weekends. I would just take weekends off.
So is that why you had to wear it twice?
Yeah. And then I was like, all my aligners were there. So I would just like, I would never check in with the doctor. I would just go get my next set, put it on. And I was just like making myself go super fast and had to do it all over again.
Because they just didn't move enough the first time? Is that why?
I was just being a little ambitious, trying to get through it quickly and not wearing it properly.
Mm.
But they're great. And you can use them as bleach trays.
Oh. I'll keep them. Well, they told me to give them back to them.
The aligners?
My ortho said that when I go in for my next appointment, like October something, I have to bring back my 4 trays that I just have gone through over the last 8 weeks.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You make a necklace out of it? What? Like make a necklace out of it?
Shell necklace. With your Invisalign.
No. Unless they have some kind of program where they recycle it. But whatever liner you're wearing currently, use that as you can just put a little bleach in there and use it as your bleach trays. Ranger.
Like regular bleach.
Yeah. Hey, is Peanut down here? Yeah. You want to see my new kitten?
I do. I'm grabbing water.
Okay.
But
yeah. Until Sarah gets back.
Oh my goodness.
This is
Have you met Lola before?
No, but hi.
She's always here. She's just always in the other room.
It's nice to meet you. Oh my goodness. Hello, Peanut. Hi. Oh my gosh.
It's so cute. Like, it's in your palm.
So
hi. Yes, my sister found him in a little community garden. He was like abandoned. And his mommy never came back for him. So we took him home, but he's just absolutely tiny. He thinks he's a dog. The dogs are like totally great with him.
And then there's little Oreo.
And there's Oreo. So we collect pets here.
we have 4 pets right now.
That's so cute. Oh, I'm obsessed.
It is so cute. I'm horrible with names.
Oh, same.
Okay.
All right. Let's intro this bitch.
Yeah. I'll let you start it off.
All right. What's up, everybody? We are back for episode 3. I am Sarah Lyon and
Camile Periat. The Bikini Show.
The Bikini Show. Sponsored by Maximum Beauty. All of your competition glam needs, makeup, hair, the whole 9 yards. Hit us up. We are at all the national shows, all the main shows. So get with us. Anyways, we have
another pro champion winner, Olympia qualified bikini pro, Miss Jennifer Ronzitti.
Yes, Jen Ronzitti.
No introduction. Grinding really hard these last few shows, and she finally got her ticket to Olympia, and she's super excited. I know she's really excited, and I'm excited for her. So we're going to be bringing her on here, and we have some questions. I posted that on our story, and we have had some good questions come in for her, so we can see what she did differently between the Optimum Classic that she won and Tampa Pro, and what her strategy is going into Olympia, the goods.
Yes, absolutely. They've definitely nailed down her package here, so it'll be interesting to see what she got for feedback as well.
Yeah.
Shit, my Wi-Fi does suck. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's amazing to see these women and men, competing right now that have, been clearly prepping through quarantine, and how good they look and how dialed they look. Like it's pretty amazing.
Well, and it's just one of those things that it really puts into perspective, in my opinion, how much your diet plays into how you look. I mean, that's something that I've said from the beginning, and anyone who works with me has heard me say it is 80% diet, 20% training, in my opinion, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
If you nail that diet down, and then you just stay consistent with the little day-to-day tasks that you need to do to keep your, heart rate up and that caloric burn up, it makes a big difference compared to those who do and try and train that out train a bad diet. It just doesn't work. So
you're never going to get ahead with that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to be backpedaling.
Exactly.
So let's get Miss Jen Ron Fit on our show.
Let's do it.
Herbal drinking.
What's up?
Hey.
What's up, champ?
How are you, ladies?
Good, how are you?
Good. I miss you all. I miss seeing everybody.
Well, at least you've been seeing people. You've been in the scene.
Yeah, but it's different though. Like, it's that weird, awkward when you see someone, you're like, can I hug you? Are you like socially distancing myself from you? So.
Oh yeah. I've stuck my hand out a couple times to like introduce myself, and I'm like, oh no, you're not. Okay, no worries.
Here's something really funny. So did you guys ever hear that this part, like that's a weenus? Have you heard that?
No.
Like when I was 12.
A weenus?
So I was out and about, and this like guy was dead serious, and he's like, I won't handshake you, but I'll give you a weenus. And I was like, a weenus? I was so confused what he was talking about, but he was talking about his elbow, like an elbow.
You're like, okay.
Excuse me, what did you say?
That was my reaction. I'm just like, what?
My husband's over there.
So Jen, back to you. Congratulations, girl.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Dude, you've been grinding for a long time.
Yeah, since December, like since the Arnold prep.
I was gonna ask, like, when did you took your time off then post Olympia?
Yeah, like, so I took a little bit of time post Olympia, and then I started prep like right after Christmas, and then went into Arnold, and then I saw you guys literally like right after the shutdown happened.
Yeah.
And like we were kind of looking at doing the Border Clash, which was only a couple weeks after the Arnold, and then it was just everything just kept getting pushed, and like when I was talking to my coach, I was like, look, as soon as things open up, and I mean, when I had this like epiphany, I didn't think it would be like 3 months later. But I was like, when things open back up, like in a month or so, you know, we're all waiting. I just want to hop into shows. I want to qualify. I want to shut it down. I want to have a summer. So, you know, I had a little stretch of time off because we were like, well, we don't know, you know, the state of everything. And I think we were kind of looking at like, at that point, Chicago, which was still like early July. So I had like, I think like 3-4 weeks off. And then I went into prep, and then I just like never got out of it. But it was hard because you're prepping and you're prepping from home. So my body wasn't responding the way it normally was. So it was awful.
The gyms still aren't open by you.
What's that?
The gyms still aren't open by you?
No, they're open now. Like
Okay.
they literally opened 3 weeks before I did Utah. So I brought a quarantine body to Utah.
Well, and I think you mentioned somewhere that like your body as soon as you got back into the gym, your body just like responded so quick.
Oh, it was like night and day. I was dropping pounds like water, I guess. But be in that environment again, it was just that my stress levels went down. Like, and I thought I wasn't stressed, but clearly like my body thought otherwise. But you know, like 3 weeks just wasn't enough time to do well at Utah. So we just figured just go in, see what happens. And that was great. And that like lit the fire.
We won't talk about Utah. No.
Right. It's great. I like just kind of
right. Kind of gives ourselves that break.
Yeah. So it was just like after that, I was like, all right, let's just keep going. And I was just praying every single day. Like, you know, we were hearing about other gyms or like, you know, the West, God, I can't take it. Like I literally knew like mentally I couldn't take another shutdown. Yeah. So I was just praying that it wasn't going to happen.
So you did Tampa and you were like flipping close. You looked right there. Incredible. I texted you. I was like, man, this is like splitting hairs.
It pretty much was. Like the feedback from the judges were like, we had to pick a winner. And I'm like, so what can I improve? They're like, nothing. And I'm like, okay. let's just bring the same package to another show, you know? And part of me wanted to do Border Clash because I've done it before. I love that show. But I also knew that, like, you know, Ashley was going to do that show. And I was kind of like, oh, I could go either way, you know? And sometimes and Camille, you know this, like with our physique, if we come in a little too hard, like, you know, it doesn't do well. Yeah.
We have like, well, I think everybody has like, there's like just such like a very like definitive line that you have to fall into. And it kind of like, I know you are the same way. Like you'll hear feedback like, you know, soften up a tad. And then you try that and you're like, okay, that was, you know. But I think you just have to go in the best you can. And the last couple of shows that you've done, even at Utah, you looked incredible. I was kind of like, I was personally surprised about the Utah, which is why I said, let's not even talk about the Utah show. But the Tampa and this last show that you did at Optimum Classic, like I thought this was like the best you have looked. Like you looked amazing.
Your package reminds me of the package that you brought to, is it the 2019 Chicago Pro?
That's the look that I was going for.
You looked, I still remember watching you on stage just being like, she looks incredible. Like, holy shit. I couldn't, you know, pick any flaw on you on that. And looking at your stage pictures again, you know, unfortunately not being there, but looking at your stage pictures, it was like, that's what I said to Camille before we were on. I was like, it reminds me of that Chicago Pro package that she brought.
Yeah, I told Damien, I was like, I don't care what we need to do. I was like, I want that look because I know, you know, when my physique is at a certain point, it is on point. I can't be like, I would rather err on the side of being a little bit too lean and being able to soften up like the day of the show or whatever, than come in like a little too soft. Like,
without a doubt.
Yeah. it's just soft doesn't work for my physique at all. Like if we try to look soft, like I look soft everywhere, and it's just, it leaves the door open for other competitors. And I just know when I come in a little bit like leaner, it's just like, like that's where I feel 100% confident. I feel really good when I hit that stage. So that was what we were going for Tampa. I think I even, like, I didn't really try to, like, I don't weigh myself like days before the show. Like as soon as I leave my house and I'm in the air, like I don't bring a scale with me. I don't care about weight at that point.
Yeah.
Like you just want to go off of look. I think I came in a little bit lighter, maybe about a pound for
Optimum.
Yeah, for Optimum. Thank you. Like I still got prep brain. I'm non-prep.
Oh, okay.
Jumped our question.
So how was your stress level? So not only did you win the Optimum Classic, but you flew into the eye of the hurricane.
Oh, Laura. Tell us about Laura.
Bodybuilders will fly into the eye of the hurricane for a show.
Oh,
Laura, she's
clean, and we're flying in.
She just didn't make it easy. You know, like I'm like texting like everybody trying to figure out like, do we still have a show? Because I'm like, this show needs to happen because I'm gonna win this show. Like this is the attitude. Like that's the attitude I had. I was like, I'm not doing another show. Like this is the show. I'm qualifying or I'm done. Well, not really, but you know. Yeah, I'm like, on to the next one. And I had already booked a vacation. Like I'm going to California in like 2 weeks, and I was like, it has to happen before vacation. Like I'm not struggling and doing prep on vacation. Like that's not happening. But anyway, so you know, everybody's like, show's still on, and like as like Wednesday is coming and we're starting to get like all like the weather reports, I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I have a connection in Dallas, so hopefully like we're like this way. And Thursday afternoon, canceled. They rebooked me, canceled me again, rebooked me. It happened like twice, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not going to fly into Shreveport on Friday with my stress levels high, or what if, you know, we're still getting canceled and rebooked on Friday. Canceled my original flight, did a round trip ticket to Dallas, and rented a car and took a 3-hour drive. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't care how I get to Shreveport. This show is happening and I'm winning this damn show.
I was thinking about you. When Hurricane Laura was hitting the coast, I was like up at night watching the Weather Channel, watching it. I'm like, well, I'm up. I might as well watch it hit land. And I was like, then I'm like Shreveport. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's kind of swampy there. It's like it takes a whole lot of moisture.
The fact that you flew into Dallas and did that drive, were you by yourself?
No, my boyfriend came with me.
Okay.
So I was like, you don't have to come. It's like, I know it's like crazy. And he's like, I'm coming. Like, you're not driving. I'm coming. Like, you're not going to be doing this like hurricane thing alone. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and he like drove the 3 hours. He's like, I was like, you sure? Like, he didn't even get sleep the night before. And I was like, you sure? Like, I could totally drive. And he's like, you're not doing shit. Like, your focus this weekend is to win this show. And I was like,
okay.
Boyfriends take notes.
Yeah.
And you know what? You guys probably had a lot. It was like an adventure.
Yeah.
Totally. That
is it trains and automobiles or something?
You will never forget this weekend. Wow, that's amazing. And the fact that your cortisol levels did stay low enough and that everything turned out how it was supposed to turn out for you. So that's great.
I don't try to freak out. Like, it's regardless of what happens, I was like, I'm going to get there one way or another. You know, whatever happens. But I was like, the best thing that I can do is control every piece because I'm a control freak, every piece that I can control to make my like cortisol levels like stay low. It's like the only thing I can't control is the weather and them canceling the show. So I was like, it's on me to figure out the travel situation. It's on me, like, to figure out the rental car and the drive situation. And I was like, if I get all that stuff handled and I get my butt to Shreveport, I was like, we're good. You're good.
Yeah.
And we did.
Wow. Well, and you get to shut it down for a while. So why are you coming out to California? Everyone's leaving California.
In what part of Cali?
Yeah, what part? Because if you're coming close to me, you have to visit.
So part of the time we're going to go in Orange County, like Newport, Huntington Beach, kind of like where I used to live. So going to go there because there's a couple places that like I always wanted to go when I lived there and never got the chance to. So we're going to go back there. And then the other half, we're going to go to West Hollywood because he has good friends out there still that like want us to come visit, and I think he's going to do a little bit of business stuff out there too, so it's kind of like a little bit of everything, but we just wanted something like kind of relatively quick because like we didn't know the whole state of like going, because I know people are going to Mexico too, but I'm like, what if all of a sudden they change like the regulations and then you get quarantined and stuck in Mexico?
Well, we were gonna go to Cabo like a month ago, and I'm just like, I want to go. Let's do it. We booked it, and then like literally 4 days later, we're like, that was kind of stupid. We should probably cancel it because everything was kind of getting like locked up. But
yeah.
just do it. I think at this point, like I'm so over it.
I've seen so many people in Mexico, and I'm so confused every time. I'm like, I don't understand. Because too, if you actually go on the certain like all-inclusive websites to book something that, you know, includes your flight maybe and all that jazz, they literally say like they're not booking. So then it's, I guess all these people are booking things independently, I guess. I don't know. But I have the same fear as you guys do, Camille, in the fact of being stuck there. It's like, well, yeah, it sounds great to go and then for 2 weeks, but what happens during that 2 weeks that you're in Mexico?
Yeah, and that's like, that was my biggest worry. Or like, what if you can't get refunded? Or I mean, there's just
actually the refunds on flights right now are like really, really, really good. They have a really good like COVID policy, but you still have to do it within like I think 7 days of your trip or something.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
Well, like even when I was starting to like research, like I was because I know Southwest flies to Mexico, and that's like a straight shot for us from Baltimore, and Southwest isn't even flying to Mexico, and I was like,
Yeah. We're kind of limited on places we can travel.
California it is.
I've been to Florida a couple times. I'm like, I competed in Florida. Like his parents have a place in Florida, so we've been like down to Siesta Key already. And I was like, I don't want bugs. I don't want humidity. Let's go to California. So that was kind of like
that will be fun. That will be super fun. Okay, so I got to ask you. You have a boyfriend. You haven't.
Yeah, him.
We got on our yes, Jen has a boyfriend. So tell us about your boyfriend.
oh,
You're like blushing now.
he is absolutely like wonderful. I couldn't have literally picked someone more supportive, genuine, loving. Like he just has made my life so much easier, and I never knew I could find someone this supportive, especially like competing is hard by yourself. Competing with a significant other is a whole new ball game because competing is a very selfish sport, you know, like there's times where like you have, especially at our level, you have to put your blinders on and you're like, baby, I can't go to dinner. I like my brain rocks, and luckily he's like, do what you gotta do.
The next 12 weeks.
That's what I was like, let's go on vacation. We're going to make up for some happy hours. I mean, we're going to happy hour on Friday. Like, I mean, he's pretty much like, we started dating in November. So, I mean, I've been in prep like the entire time we've been dating. Like this poor guy.
Like this. You're good to go.
You guys seem like you guys have a lot of fun. Like you guys are always laughing together on like your stories. Like, I'm very happy for you, Jen.
Yeah, he's just easygoing. Like he doesn't stress about anything, and it's so natural that like I like can't say enough like good things about him. And like literally I'm like, you don't have to come to this show, babe. Like it's okay. Like I know you got like other stuff to. He's like, I'm not missing it. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. That's great. Well, we know then that your Olympia prep will be smooth sailing as well.
Yes.
I'm gonna look down and get all the questions for Jen pulled up. I'm not just like scrolling on my phone because I'm bored.
You're good. Are you bored? Are you bored, Camille?
Well, hopefully the Olympia prep will be good. Like just keeping our fingers crossed that like gyms stay open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's all I can ask for is gyms staying open. I mean, my gym like right now it's like mandated. We have to wear masks while working out.
So now let me ask you, for the masks at your gym, some of them are a little different, right? So like I know that in the state of Illinois, if you go to the gym, you have to have a mask on. But say for instance, like you go to the leg press machine, you can take your mask off while you're working out. No. And then you just have to put your mask back on to go to the other machine, which if you ask me, makes zero sense.
I can answer this. So the regulations that the CDC and states have laid out, it's very gray, and it doesn't actually say like you have to wear it entire time. There's actually a loophole that if you have a difficult time breathing, doing like very strenuous workouts, that you can actually take it off. However, there's so many, like in our gym, like they're like, I have to be the one that set an example. So I wear it constantly inside. And if people take it off at all, like there's always those like mask Nazis that are running around. Like they had a mask below their nose. Well, they're getting a sip of water. Like there's these gray areas. It sucks. The whole thing. I'm just so tired of it. I get it. I respect it, but it's just like, man, I'm ready for it to be done.
Like they are like on us. Like you can hear it over the loudspeaker. I can hear it over like my music. It like our governor basically said like if we're not wearing masks, like they'll shut our gyms down, and like they the CDC and stuff are doing like random like checks and walkthroughs to gyms. It's so awful. Like I go to Gold.
That?
Huh?
Who told you that?
Literally like everywhere. Like it's everywhere on like the Gold thing. Like that's what they're telling. Like it is so bad. But I'm like, I get hate on my videos when like my mask starts slipping over like my nose, and I'm like, why don't you walk out and like with a mask on?
You get shit for when your mask falls down, and then you get shit for when you try to pull it up. They're like, don't touch your mask.
Yeah.
My favorite is when I have an itch and I'm like, can I itch that?
Well, like
it's go and hide.
But like when I'm doing legs, I'm like, I'm sorry. I pull it, I can't breathe. I pull it down, and like when I'm doing HIIT cardio, you know, your BPM is at like 160 beats per minute, and I'm like, there's no way I can get enough oxygen through this mask. So I'm like looking at Etsy and stuff trying to find mesh masks.
Mesh masks.
Alexandra Ross can help you out with that one.
Trying to like be able to breathe through it, and it's awful because like as much as like I change out my masks, I wash them all the time because I have the washable ones. I'm getting acne from here down. Like it's really bad, like cheek acne. I've gotten cystic acne all along my chin line, and I'm like, this isn't healthy. Like to be breathing in your sweat and all that stuff, and I'm like, there's something. I don't even.
Yeah, a lot of women are breaking out.
In trouble.
I know, we all like pitter patter around it.
No.
Wear your mask, everybody. Wear your mask.
Wear a mask. Anyone out there I don't think there's anyone out there that's like, I love the feeling of wearing a mask. It's so good.
I will tell you all. I will tell you, when I made the switch from the medical mask to a cloth, like cotton fabric mask,
day and night,
was a game changer for me. I had to catch a flight up to Seattle, and I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine sitting on a plane with this freaking medical mask. So I went to the mall, got a mask, and it's been like night and day for me. Night and day. You can breathe better. You can like, I don't know, it just feels better. I still definitely am having the same breakout issue that you're having, Jen. And I don't even know how to deal with it because it's like, what do? You have to have this mask on no matter how, even if I wash it every other night, you know, it just doesn't.
Well, do you guys wear face makeup under your masks?
No, I just use sunscreen.
I do not have gym. I already have makeup on, and see, I'm bad. I already have makeup on, but just every day, like, you know, I'm running around. It's 90 degrees outside. You're sweating under the mask, you know, doing groceries and all that stuff. So you're going from like hot, humid environment, going in and do your groceries, and there's no avoiding it.
I have a trick for you guys.
Oh,
so when you do your makeup, you just do the makeup from here. No joke. I do that. No one can see underneath here. So you just
do first, everybody.
You start with contouring your eyes, your nose, your eyes, and then just down here is just like forgotten.
I love that, but the fact that you actually are doing it, like, I need to do that now.
I agree.
It works great.
That's hilarious. Well, and Jen, honestly, Camille, though, I think we have it like a hair better being on the West Coast because we don't have the humidity you guys do. So like
humidity, yeah.
Like I walked outside when I was in Georgia last weekend for the Savannah Pro. I walked outside and I was just like dripping. And then coming here, yeah, it's hotter here, but you both know there's no humidity. So like you don't have that instant sweat where I can't imagine actually doing the mask with makeup on and then like that, all those pellets of glistening sweat catching up on your face and just sitting there.
It's awful. It's awful because like the minute you walk outside, I mean, like I'm used to the humidity, but there's some days where the humidity is so thick. I'm like, I can't breathe. And then you start getting like anxiety because you're like panicking because you can't breathe. And then I'm like an old lady now. I walk in the mornings, like that's how I start my day, you know, before I go to the gym, before I eat breakfast, I like go for a walk. That's how I started when COVID started. I'm like, what am I gonna do when it's like winter? Am I gonna like be a mall walker now?
With those ride sticks.
I know.
Mall walker.
I'm seeing
snowshoes.
And they're wearing masks. It's 100% humidity. It's like 85, 90 degrees at like 6 a.m. and they're wearing masks. And I'm like, you would find me on the sidewalk, like passed out. And these people are just like hauling.
My God.
Oh, God. Yeah, fun times. Well, okay. So, Jen, let's get back to, for a tad serious now again.
Okay. Just a tad.
Camille reels this back in.
Olympia. What is the plan for Olympia? Are you taking, like, how much time are you taking off? What are you doing so I can do differently in my prep? No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to eat all the cookies, Camille.
Okay, me too. Okay, me too then.
Oreos post-workout.
Hey, don't knock the Oreo post-workout. That does work.
I'm with you.
Cereal post-workout.
You're the me Lucky Charms.
Me Lucky Charms. It works.
It does. That's how I used to pump up too. People laugh at me. I'm like slamming Lucky Charms in dried mangoes, and everybody's like, and I'm like,
dried mangoes.
Dried mango is legit.
Dried fruit is a great way to carb up.
Yeah.
Great way.
Super easy. Like you can chew it real fast. I can chew it in line. It's my jam, man.
So dry cereal, or do you do with almond milk?
Oh no, dry cereal. I usually just pick out the marshmallows mostly though.
So you go through like one box in each sitting.
No, you get the single serves. You get like little cups.
Oh.
Yeah, like they like the kids, like they're like the
like
dolls.
Kids get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like pull it open and I just start picking like all like the marshmallows out, and like I'll have some of like the regular cereal, but like you want that sugar rush, so I'm like picking the marshmallows out.
I love it.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Dehydrated marshmallows. Only the best.
So Jen, are we gonna see you in purple again at the Olympia?
I'm trying to figure out what to do because like I love my like deep red. Like that's like my classic look. I've also really liked the blue. And last minute, I was like, what about purple? Like I've done fuchsia. That was my first national competition. I did Universe. It was a pretty color, but it wasn't for me. But like I'm at where I was like, let's have fun with this, like not that I don't take competing seriously, but I'm like, I took like the suit colors super seriously, and I'm like, whatever, like let's just do purple, man. And I actually really liked it. So
yeah, you look amazing.
Thanks. It'll be like a kind of a decision to figure out like soon because they've got to make the suit. So
Have you ever worn green?
actually, my very first NPC competition, actually my first two, I wore green, like that Kelly green.
It would be pretty on you.
So
Yeah.
I would like to do like
I'm gonna throw green out into the mix for you.
Never doing black again. I did that once for my pro debut, and that was just no.
Yeah, black does not work well. It's like it doesn't work.
And they don't really seem to like it, to be honest with you.
I don't think
I
they do.
remember when I wore it for one of my shows, that was like one of the first things that Sandy and a couple other judges had said to me, why are you in black? Why are you in black? Why black? And I'm like, I have no idea, but I will definitely be changing that now.
Yeah, they said, why don't you go back to, like, after I did that, they were like, go back to red. And I was like, you know, like the black? And they were like, no. It's like, okay.
So how much time are you going to be taking off before you like go balls to the wall with Olympia?
I don't even know. Like, we're just right now, like, reversing me and
little
getting
bit.
my calories back high. I don't think there's going to be like a certain like pull trigger date where we're like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, kind of what we did between Tampa and Optimum was he just started like throwing food at me and my body was loving it. And then I think like a week and a half before, he just reeled it in and all of a sudden my body just like took off. So I think we're going to do kind of like the same thing, like watch my body as we feed me up, not get me too high. And then once I hit a certain point, he's just going to start pulling. Because I know for me and my body, like when I get to like 125, 126, that's kind of where I start to feel uncomfortable. So that's probably where he's going to like start like pulling it down and do it a lot more slowly. Because we have
that's your kind of like your too lean range. Is that what you mean?
Too fluffy range.
Oh, too fluffy range. Okay.
Yeah. So right now we're just eating, and I told him, I'm like, look, whatever happens, just fit in because even when I'm in off season, I don't really have like cheat meals. I just have like higher days. Yeah. And I'm like, for this like off season, because now I have a boyfriend, now I would like to go to happy hour and have adult beverages. I was like, can we fit in like a cheat day? Because I'd like to go to happy hour and like go outside of like the whole macro realm and not have to track macros for like a meal and stuff. And he's like, yeah, we can totally do that. And I'm like, all right, then I'm happy. Like, I don't really ask a lot from my coach and I don't need a lot, but
you're 15 weeks out. So, and like, you're already right there. So you have like probably like at least a couple weeks to just like have fun here and there. And then
it's 15 weeks.
What?
Is it 15?
Did you really just say it's 15 weeks?
13.
13. I thought I heard 15 too.
No, 13.
It's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that far away. Like, it's like December's coming and it's crazy.
I feel like I've had such a long time off that I'm kind of just like having to wrap my head around like
prep.
The fact that you just said
so good. Like,
so
you're like, I'm starting prep, and I'm like, already? I'm like, you look like halfway there.
Ew.
You.
Oh, yeah. So you know how it takes like, I do like maintain a certain like range pretty easily, but I feel like I've had so much time off that like, I'm just so like I haven't been dieting. I haven't even been training like as hard as I normally do. Just we have had so much stuff going on. But I think my body's so just like, it's so happy right now. Part of me, I'm almost like, I don't want to ruin that because I really like where I'm at. Do you ever get that point?
No, because I feel like I've been prepping nonstop for like 6 years.
Well, Camille, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, Sarah gets
In a weird, different, non-competitor way, if you will. But yes, I understand. It's one of those things where it's like you find that happy flow.
Yeah, because when you start hardcore prepping and you get to that point, which I love looking like that, but then when you start to come away from that, like your body goes to this kind of like, whoa, what are we doing here phase, you know? And like I hate that phase, even though it might not be super drastic, but like
it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it feels weird.
So Jen, I have some questions for you.
Uh-oh.
They're good questions. I was like, okay, that's a good one. Well, the first one we already answered. Are you single? No, she is in love with a really great guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question is, how many shows did you do before turning pro?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I turned pro at my 6th show, which was my 4th national.
Wow.
So I only did 2014. So 2013 is when I started competing. I did 2 regional shows, kind of back to back. And then I hopped into Universe. I got, I think, 9th place. And then from there, I took a little bit of time off and then went to Miami Nationals. And I got 2nd call outs, I think like 11th place. And then I did Junior USAs, got top 5, 5th place. And then after that, I was going to do North Americans, but then decided not to. I was like, I want to do the big show. Like, I want to turn pro. I like Miami Nationals. And so I did Miami Nationals and won my class.
Wow, that's great. And what year was that?
2014. And then I took all of 2015 off.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so then in 2016 when you kind of came back as like a fierce, and then you had a big year.
Yeah. Like I went from hitting, so Hit Pro was my debut. I got, I think, 13th place. Like I was like, I went from doing really, really well.
For your pro debut, that was your pro debut?
Yeah, that was my pro debut. Yeah.
That's great. Pittsburgh Pro for 13th place. I think that's great.
It was good, but like when you're like, it's hard to wrap your head around it when you're like an amateur going into the pro league and you're used to like, I mean, I like my first show, I got 3rd place. My 2nd show, I got 1st in overall. And then like I was doing like really, really well. So to all of a sudden feel like I was like back at like ground zero, you know, it was really disheartening after. But I literally remember driving home from Pittsburgh and I was like, I'm not meant to be a pro. Like I literally thought like I shouldn't compete, like I'm not doing well. Like it was one of those moments, and
which everyone should listen and like absorb what you just said. Like a top Olympian back when she had her pro debut had a moment of, hey, am I really supposed to be doing this? And it came down to your consistency and your dedication to see through, you know, what you wanted to do to get back on stage after that fact.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we all have, like, those emotions and stuff where we're like, oh, like, what was me? You know, you feel bad and, like, you're like, I shouldn't do this. Like, why did I do this in the first place? All that kind of stuff. And then you got to let, like, those moments pass and be like, all right, let me give it one more shot. And that's what I did. I literally, like, went to, like, a posing clinic, like, one of Gary Udit's posing clinics, and I talked to him, and I was like, because he's in my area and he's seen me since I was an amateur, and I was like, what do I do? Like, I feel like I failed and that kind of stuff. And he was like, bring your legs down, come down a little bit more. Because I didn't do cardio during that whole prep for Pittsburgh, except for like the last week. And he was like, you know, maybe think about Toronto. And like at that point, like I was a broke competitor. I didn't have all this money to like be flying all over the place and like do show to show to show and all that kind of stuff. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like Toronto, like flights are like $800 round trip. Like, what am I going to do? So I drove 10 hours to Toronto. I was like, I'm going to figure out how to, like, how to do it. And I had my friend come with me. We split the hotel, and then I freaking won Toronto, and I'm like Olympia qualified my second show in my like first pro year.
That's great to see.
Yeah, that's a great story. I love that. I love hearing
my own suits. Like, I used to cut costs everywhere except for posing and my prep. That was it.
Yeah, and it matters. So Jen, I'm gonna kind of go off course, Camille, on what you have with questions, but that kind of intrigues me to ask you, what made you start competing? What prompted this whole journey to start for you?
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
So, okay, like back like 2013.
Best answer ever on the bikini.
People say Instagram. Jen was inspired by Pinterest.
I mean, Instagram back then, I mean, there was, but like people weren't really like using it for that.
Like
Pinterest, like there was like girls that like had abs, and I was like, oh, I want abs. Like I've always been that person that like would drink beer, I would eat fried foods. Yeah, I went to happy hour a lot. Like
that's why we get along so well, Jen.
Right.
I cared more about hanging out with my friends and like going to happy hour, and like the job that I was in at the time, I did sales, so like it was always like wine and dining and like kind of doing that whole environment. So like that's what I want to do. But then I was getting close to turning 30 at that point, and Pinterest was like cool back then, and I saw like sculpted arms and like abs, and then I started like researching, and I'm like, well, let me start with I did sprint triathlons. Like that's how I like started working out, because all my friends used to make fun of me. They said that like the only time Jen runs is like if she's being was the kid in a school gym class that literally would be like, I can't run the mile, I have asthma, here's my note. that's how much like I despise doing anything fitness. And like if I had like to go to a wedding, like if my friends were getting married, I'd go to the gym like the week of, and I'd be like, oh, you could totally see the definition. Like I was that girl.
That's funny. Oh my God.
Totally that girl. So
amazing.
And then like I told my friends one day, I was like, I think I'm gonna do like a sprint triathlon. I thought like some of them died on the floor. Like they were laughing so hard at me. And I was like, you know what? Screw you, screw you, screw you. I'm gonna prove every single one of you wrong, and I'm gonna do it. And that's what I did. Like I started like figuring out going to the and I was always like, I grew up as like a competitive swimmer, so I was like, I got that part, like that's the hard part, and then like I borrowed a friend's like mountain bike. Like I did like my first triathlon with a mountain bike. And like I really liked it, and I was like, but I still didn't see the abs. Like I was like, where are the glutes? Like I just felt skinny, like I didn't have like shape to me. And then that's like when I started seeing like India Paulino like on Pinterest, and like Alex, this girl's like forever competitor, Alex Zarega. Like she was like my first like love of like fit bodies, because she was like teeny and tiny and petite and like kind of like me. And then I was like started researching competitions, and I found out that there was like the Maryland like Gladiator like in, I don't know, I think at that point it was like 11 weeks away. And then I didn't have money, like I was still broke. And I found like this random coach who really shouldn't have coached in the first place, because he didn't know what he was doing. But he just basically was able to like reel in my diet, give me chicken, stewed potatoes, and asparagus. And my body was like, because I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing happy hour. And I did my first prep in like 9 weeks.
Crazy what you do when you eliminate happy hour.
I mean, I was eating like Cooler Ranch Doritos for dinner.
Yum.
That was like my diet.
Your story is amazing. I love that.
Very similar stories. We both were swimmers. And before I got into competing, I was like wanting to look like the girls that I would see in like the magazines.
Yep.
I was like, I'm going to do a triathlon. And I was like practicing for a triathlon. But the only thing that was like holding me back was I was really afraid to do the ocean swim.
Oh, that would scare me too. Mine was in a lake.
Okay.
You literally couldn't see in front of your face. It was like brown. It was gross.
But we were both doing like the triathlon route, thinking that's how we were going to achieve.
That's why we're friends. You're like my spirit animal in so many ways. Boston Terriers, like peanut butter whiskey, you know.
Oh, not the peanut butter.
Talk about all the things we have in common. That's a really great story.
I love that.
I didn't know that about you.
I love that. Just proves again, you can start wherever as whoever and become whoever you want to be as long as you just put in that dedication and consistency.
Very true. And if anyone ever dares me that I can't, or tells me that I can't do something, like it literally lights a fire under my butt. Like,
all right, note to self. Note to self. All right, I have another question for Jen. What was it? This is a good question. I like this one a lot. What was the difference between your look in Tampa and your recent win? Well, you kind of actually already covered that a little bit.
Yeah, it was literally the same look. It might have been like a pound leaner. Like we really didn't change anything except for like feeding me more food, because at that point my metabolism is like running so fast. So we were just feeding me more food. And you know, day of the show, I still ate all my normal foods and just like cut water just a little bit, but like we weren't really aggressively like pulling me in because I was where I needed to be.
Yeah, no, I thought you looked great in both of them. So those were some of the questions I got. Sarah, did you get any on your feed?
You guys want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay, and I was going to make a post about this too for the people that like don't end up seeing the show, and I don't know why they wouldn't.
I don't know either.
I mean, you live
really cool people.
So, fun fact or interesting fact for both Optimum Classic, so Shreveport, and Chicago Pro. I got my period on Thursday. I competed full on with my cycle, and I know a lot of competitors like freak out about it, but I'm like, I get my best looks when I'm on my period.
I'm on my period literally almost every show it starts, like clockwork. But you know what? I think that, like, okay, as a female competitor, we have technically a 2-week window where we look good. There's 2 weeks during that month where you look like you're bloated. When you ovulate, you get bloated, and then you're premenstrual. And then when that, like, it's like right after your period and like a day after your period starts, you start tightening up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so like,
true.
It's like people should
consider ovulating into your regular month schedule. And I don't know about y'all, but when my body is ovulating, I have the same symptoms. I hold the same water, everything.
I'm worse, actually.
Yeah, and it's disgusting. It's such a shitty feeling, and it's true. So that's a huge point to stand out and to point out, especially those were technically your last 2 wins, right?
And Tampa, like I was kind of like, so I had my cycle, but I was, whatever. But like, I always tell people, I'm like, don't freak out about it. Cause again, like you can't control Mother Nature. There's no pill that you can take that's literally going to stop it. You should be, number one, happy if you have your period while competing. You know what I mean? Because like, it means you're still like hormonally like healthy.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, like tell your coach about it. But like, really, we didn't change anything. We weren't like, let's aggressively pull water. Like we just kind of left it as is. And my body was like happy. And
That's amazing.
Well, they also say that it brings good luck on your show day. I don't know who said this, but
that's a new one. So
Your wedding, it's like good luck, but they just tell that to people so they don't freak
they
out.
feel better. Yeah. Like, oh, good. Okay, that means it's
an old wives' tale was just established on the Bikini show. Like rain on your wedding day.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Well, that is a very fun fact, Jen.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. Jen, a couple questions that I had for you that came in through mine was, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Lucky John.
I know, right? But that's not even a cheat for her.
I know, yeah, because I have it in prep. Honestly, I don't have like a set cheat meal. It used, like way back in the day, it used to be like burger and fries. But now, because like I'm on that macro, like I do macros instead of like the bro like meal plan. Like if I want something, I'll have it. So like it's almost a problem now post show because I'm like, I don't know what I want. Like I'm that typical girl. It's like, I don't know what I want to eat. So I try to find restaurants that have a little bit of everything. Shreveport, it was kind of like not, but yeah, I'm like we're going to this one place on tomorrow night because they have literally sushi, burger sliders, like they have like crispy Brussels sprouts, they have like donuts on their dessert menu.
Is it the Cheesecake Factory?
It's like a cheesecake factory. It's so good. It just depends on like what I'm craving. So I don't really have like a set cheat meal anymore.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Another one here that I have is, how much cardio do you do going into a show?
Right now, like this past like year, 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes.
Has that progressively gotten more the years that you've continued competing? You know, like, did you used to do more in the past, and as you've stayed consistent, you've done less and less?
Yeah, like 2 years ago, that was like my body was in a different place. Like I was doing like 90 minutes of cardio a day. And like a lot of times I was doing it fasted because I was working so much that I just wanted to get it over with in one clip, because it was like I couldn't wrap my head around doing more cardio at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So now it's just different because like, you know, my body is being fed, it's happy, my metabolism is in a healthy spot. So like we just really don't have to give me too much cardio to get me down, as long as I stay within this nice little healthy like range. You know, like when I'm in the off season, like I personally can't gain 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever it is, because number one, it's going to take me forever to come back down. And you know, like I don't want to sacrifice muscle and doing a ton of cardio and literally eat like 900 calories to get myself down to that point. It's just it's not fun or healthy. So
no. Then you start hating what you're doing.
Yeah. And like, I mean, now it's almost at the point where like I'm kind of like spoiled. I literally like, oh God, I don't want to do my 30 minutes of cardio. And I'm like, there are bikini girls, Jen, out there that are suffering. Like 90 minutes of cardio. Get it done.
Yeah. So do you do like hit 30 minutes? Like what do you do for your cardio?
Most of the time, like especially now that I'm off season and being like fed a lot more.
I'm taking notes.
I know. I was going to say, Camille's grabbing her notepad right now.
Like right now I'm doing hit just because like the calorie burn is higher when you do hit versus like steady state. If I feel that my body is tired or like sometimes you're like, when you feel that, I'll do steady state. It just kind of depends on like how I feel. If I've had a high carb day, I'm gonna like do hit. But like when I get closer to show, I start like weeding out the hit to lessen the inflammation, and I'll just do steady state.
Sure.
All right, so a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Good deal.
Noted. I'm kidding.
A couple of these are repeats. A couple of things we've already gone over. Yeah, we've already kind of asked you all of these. So that's all I got, Camille.
All right.
On this end. But
Well, Jen, thank you for coming on our show.
we appreciate your time. We love our little natural fade out here.
Go.
On that note.
Oh my God.
I love this.
Wow.
Okay, so Jen, this is what we struggle with. We can literally, like, sometimes these episodes will be 3 hours long because we'll be like, wow, we just were chatting for so long. So trying to like find ways to like, and all right, that's where we struggle with.
Oh,
We're working on it.
Like, I don't take it personally. I'm like, okay, cool. We good? You good? You guys got all your
Not
questions?
everything.
We're gonna go out and get some food.
I think Jen might be on her way to a happy hour soon.
Oh no, I'm gonna be potato status today.
So did you find a bottle of your peanut butter whiskey?
Yeah, there's literally like I can walk to the liquor store that has it, so I know exactly where it is at all times. I haven't had my peanut butter whiskey yet. Oh, I know, I cannot wait. So like I'm gonna go to happy hour tomorrow. I'm gonna cross my fingers. If they do have it, I will have it at the bar. If they don't, we're making a pit stop on our way home and getting peanut butter whiskey. Like it's funny because like I have wine in my cabinet. I haven't even opened it up. Like I don't, even when I like can drink, I'm like not, I don't know. Like I have to be in like the mood, like post show. I don't know if you guys saw my stories, like post show, both like Tampa and this last one, like.
Yes.
Tell me, I might have missed it.
Oh my God, I'm a happy drunk, but
no version.
What I did love about Shreveport is they pour heavy. Like the margaritas that I was getting, I was like, number one, I was like, I don't want the simple sugar in it. He's like, I'm gonna make it with Splenda and I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, perfect, man. And they put bourbon floaters on the top.
Well, you know why? They just got out of a hurricane. They were just like, we are getting
wait.
It was $8 for like, I don't even know. I swore I only had 3 drinks. The boyfriend said I had 4.
I was gonna say, must have been a little tiff there with how many you have.
I'm getting my fake eyelashes off, like at the bar, like.
You were taking them off at the bar.
No, like it was falling off, and I was like, no, don't touch it. And I was like, I can't have one eyelash on and one eyelash off. I was like, wait till we get home.
That is true.
So this week, I'll let you guys know how it is, but so far the feedback has been phenomenal. There's this new product we're carrying called Z-Biotic. Have you heard of it?
What is it?
It is, you take this, I think it's either a pill or a shot, but it's like 12 bottles each dose, or $12 each dose, and you take it before you start drinking, and you do not get hungover at all.
So what?
Can we get a picture of that up on here?
We're getting them in like a couple days, so I'll let you guys know. But the people who I've talked to that have tried it said like it worked really, really well. We should have been so hungover, and we felt absolutely great the next day. We're able to do everything normally. So for Jen going out with her boyfriend, making up for lost time, I'll let you know how it is.
Yes, please let me know how it is, because like I'm that person that forgets to drink water. And
Yes.
someone tries to give me water, I'm like, give me a margarita, or like give me a mojito or something like that. And then the next morning, I'm like,
ouch. Well, and it doesn't take us much to get hungover. Like all I have to do is like, oh, I do not want to work out today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially coming from like, compared to regular drinkers who are used to that.
Yeah.
It's a whole other ball game when your body is not used to those toxins in you.
Oh yeah.
See, everybody, we also have this side to us as well. We're not just
body is life, but there's other aspects to it.
We have fun when it's allowed.
appropriate. But right now it's appropriate.
Yes.
Totally appropriate.
And I have one more week to be super appropriate with the fun.
Wow.
Oh my-
There it is.
Jen's ahead of the game. Well, Jen, thank you again for coming on the show. And why don't you let everybody know where they can find you, posing coaching online as well. So why don't you take this part to like talk about all your handles and where people can find
so
you.
You guys can find me on Instagram. It's at Jen Ronfit. And then my website is JenRonFit that's my email.
At yahoo.com.
JenRonFit@yahoo.com. That's my email. Or you can go on my website, which is www.jenronfit.com. So everything is Jen Ronfit. I do Skype and in-person posing. I do fitness plans, competition plans, so the whole kit and caboodle. So you can just reach out to me at any of my channels. You guys need posing.
You do competition coaching too?
Mhm.
You do? Okay.
I do, like with the clients that I take on a very limited amount of clients. To a lot of competitors.
Yeah.
But like I want each of my clients to feel like they have me personally, because I'm the only person that's doing the plans and doing the check-ins and things like that. And then also not to kind of sideline or stress my own self out when I'm in prep and, like I'm feeling the pressure. So I like have a couple clients, but I don't like taking on like a sea full of bikini girls because it can be a lot. I'd rather take a lot of posing clients because those are like, to me, those are fun. Those are easy clients. If there's not a lot of like homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I think I totally understand you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Jen, thank you for coming on. We love talking to you. You're always funny. You make me laugh. I'm so excited for you that we get to be backstage together.
I'm so excited too.
Oh my God, I love you too. And I'll be reporting on it all from the audience.
So excited. I
hall.
was so like bummed out because I was like, I have to make it to the Olympia. Like I want to see all my girlfriends. Like I don't want to, like you get that FOMO because you don't even know if the expo is going to go on. Like
I heard that it was not going to go on, but maybe that was a bad rumor that went around.
Yeah, like I don't really know what to expect. So it's like, if we don't have the expo, it's like, how am I going to see everybody? It's just been such a weird year that it's nice to be able to go to the Olympia and end the year on a good note, seeing everybody and just being able to do what we love.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say one thing earlier. I'm going to say it now, but your show selection was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I saw the lineup last week and I was just like, that's right.
Yeah. Like
We were rooting for you.
let's give this one a shot, so.
It worked. Thank you so much, Jen. You're amazing. We can't wait to see you in 13 weeks at the Olympia. My gosh, you enjoy that Cali vacation. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you all soon, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
That was fun. Jen always cracks me up.
Yeah. You guys are like little spirit animals to each other. It's hilarious.
We've gotten to know each other very well over the past couple years.
Yeah, I love it.
We didn't know each other that well in the past, but we've kind of gotten to know each other and we have a lot of fun. She's a funny girl. And I think it's just normal. Like, like you get to know people as you're competing more and stuff and you start to build these relationships.
Cool.
But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. There was a lot of insight too into like her beginning, and I never thought about her and her journey, and I think it really does help put into perspective for a lot of other people out there that maybe are thinking about competing or maybe just started, but again, maybe they had a show that they didn't do that well at and they were like, hey, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Jen had the same thoughts and she kept going, and that the key that unlocked her doors to success was consistency and dedication to what she wanted. So I think that's super important for a lot of people to hear and recognize too. You know, no matter how your journey is going, there's always going to be that end goal that's achievable as long as you put in the work. You know, that's really important.
Yeah, and I think she's proven to demonstrate that throughout her whole career. And I've always felt that you either put your time in the NPC or you put your time in the IFBB. From what Jen had described, she had definitely put in some time in the NPC, done multiple national shows, and finally got it, I think, on her 7th attempt, which is still relatively quick. But then there's some people who might turn pro quickly. I turned pro very quickly, but I had to definitely put my time in the IFBB for a while before I, started to find my stride. So it's seasoning for wherever you're at.
Absolutely. I totally agree. It is. And it's worth it too. You build not only, your career out of everything, but also you build a lot of relationships, like you were saying, and you learn a lot about yourself. Competing isn't just about the stage. Competing has a lot to do with it has everything to do with the process and the journey that you go through to get to that end point. And that's where you learn everything about yourself.
Yeah.
So it's super important to feel it. So yeah, loved it. It was great talking with her. I'm excited to see everyone at Vegas too. And wow, 13 weeks. I literally feel like I'm still wrapping my head around that. That's crazy.
I know. It's weird because it's here, the past couple of days, it's been feeling a little bit like fall, and we're going to be, it's just the whole year's different. This time, normally we would be 1 week out from Olympia. My pictures will be on this day last year. I'm like, woof.
Yeah, I was covering the Arizona show this time last year, and drive up to Vegas. So yeah, it is super different now. And wow, that sucks that you're going into fall weather though. It's 100 degrees here. So.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be really nice this weekend. Yeah. Well, Sarah, that was awesome. What are we?
That's it, guys. We had a great time with you all today. We're not even going to try and bullshit this extending. Jen Ronzitti was amazing. Follow her on Instagram. Follow us. Subscribe, comment. Let us know who you want to see. And we will see you guys next week.
Well, yeah, we have the New York Pro this weekend. So we're gonna have to get a new winner to come on the show. But there's a couple of up and coming badass bikini pros that we've been talking about getting on, and I think it'd be fun to throw in some
newcomers.
Yeah, in the mix that are making their way up pretty quickly. So.
Yeah, we've had 3 repeats now on season 2, but the champs are the champs, so we got to bring them on.
Yep.
All right, guys. We love you. Thanks for watching. Sarah Lyon.
Camile Periat.
The Bikini Show.
Correct.